We have 2 minutes left in the show. I just want to get to this quick Joe Rogan thing with Elon Musk. Because when Elon Musk bought X, formerly known as Twitter, we knew that there was a systemic mistreatment of conservatives and stifling of free speech there, while Twitter touted itself as the digital public square, and thus, anything goes, except if what you want to go on is anything outside of mainstream liberal ideas. So Elon Musk got in there and he sort of peeled the veil back on Twitter, and we always sort of suspected the exchange of ideas between the government and Twitter being quite strong, but it seems as though Twitter was acting as the ministry of truth for the government, and they were perfectly fine with it, which is when you have private companies enforcing the will of the government on the people, that sounds a lot like fascism. But anyways, let's go to this video of Elon Musk on Joe Rogan's show.
What was that like? Because that, to me, that was the most bizarre, was the Twitter files. When you let Schellenberger and Matt Taibbi and all those guys get in the Twitter, and the response where Matt Taibbi gets audited. I mean, which is just wild. I mean, it's just so blatant and so in your face.
Yeah, it's weird. No, I mean, the degree to which, and by the way, Jack didn't really know this, but the degree to which Twitter was simply an arm of the government was not well understood by the public, and it was whatever the official government. I mean, it was like Pravda, basically. It's a state publication is the way to think of old Twitter. It's a state publication.
And was the justification from their perspective that they are progressive liberals, they have the right intentions, it's important that they stay in power, the progressive liberals stay in government and power, because this is their...
There was basically oppression of any views that would even, I would say, could be considered middle of the road. But certainly anything on the right. I'm not talking about like far right. I'm just talking mildly right. The people like Republicans were suppressed at 10 times the rate of Democrats. Now that's because old Twitter was fundamentally controlled by the far left. It was like completely controlled by the far left.
No surprise there.
No, and I think many of us knew that and really saw that writing on the wall throughout. Again, it was really became more evident and amplified throughout the COVID handling, and it was all about making sure that public health restrictions were being obliged and abided by. Actually, over the weekend, I was in Nova Scotia, and it was a free speech and medicine conference that was taking place there. Yeah. And Aaron Kiri, I always mispronounce his last name, so I'll do my best here, but Kiriati. He was there. He's a lawyer and also a doctor. Maybe he's not actually a lawyer, but he's a doctor. And he spoke about this, the global censorship that ensued throughout COVID-19 and its handling. And through Freedom of Information requests, they're called FOIAs in the United States. We refer to them more so as ATIPs here in Canada. He and his team, who have active litigation ongoing against Joe Biden specifically and the U.S. government, they uncovered so much of this, what the government was doing to the former Twitter, now X under Elon Musk, and shared some of those insights. And it's just wild to see some of the communications. And the thing that he discovered was not necessarily that they were collaborating necessarily in some of these things, but how much pressure the government put onto Twitter to oblige and to follow direction and to do certain things and tamper with certain algorithms to make sure that, under the guise of safety for the general public, because of the public health diktats at that time. And so that was really interesting to see and to learn about this kind of legislation, this kind of litigation that's going forward about this censorship. And it really paved the way to give people the illusion of consensus, right? There was the illusion that everybody agrees that the consensus is in. We all agree the same. We all think the same. And that's a really dangerous thing because it goes almost beyond censorship and really makes you feel like an outcast, like an outsider for questioning or thinking something that the mainstream doesn't want you to necessarily think or feel. So yeah, just getting back to that point, it's really great to see Twitter untangle and unravel that censorship and those algorithms. It's not perfect, obviously. There's still many instances of people being banned or shadow banned or otherwise. But I'm really interested to see how the Canadian legislation will start to impact that. We know that Meta has preemptively blocked Canadian news content due to some of the legislation, the censorship bills instituted by the Liberals. And X so far has not done that, obviously, but there may come a point in time where they could be, metaphorically speaking or otherwise, forced to. So right now it's great to use X, but I don't know how much longer that's going to last here in Canada.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Elon Musk just said, you know what, it's a small market. We don't believe in censorship, so we're just not going to do business in Canada because of Canada's censorship policies. However, in my fantasy football world of big tech fighting with the government, I would love to see Elon Musk square off with Justin Trudeau in a squaring match where one of the stupidest people on the face of the earth squares off against one of the smartest in a death match for freedom. That's what I would love to see. It might just be easier though to just say, sorry, Canada, you suck. We'll come back when you repeal your censorship. I mean, that's what I would do. If I were a businessman, that's what I would do.
Hey, I got to tell you, I'm going on a cruise with a whole bunch of rebels. We're sailing out of Fort Lauderdale on March 23rd, 2024. That's not so far away, less than 6 months away. A gorgeous trip around the Caribbean. Holland America Line, boy, is that luxurious. And we're going to bring some of our favorite rebel talent. Sheila Gunn Reid, David Menzies, and can you believe it? We're actually bringing Tamara Leach with us, and you are invited. That's rebelnewscruise.com.